Hey Taurus, here's your weekly horoscope for January 24th to 30th. Well, as I mentioned last week with the Mars-Uranus conjunction in your sign of Taurus, that it was going to be rather difficult for a lot of people because of the squares to Saturn, Jupiter, etc. Well, unfortunately, that square is still in effect this week. And in fact, things kind of crystallize a bit more. We still have Mars conjunct Uranus, but also a point in the sky called Dark Moon Lilith. And believe me, dark moon sounds like dark emotions, and it is. It's also squaring the Sun and Jupiter all week. We have Saturn also beginning to square Uranus until April. So, yeah, it's still pretty ugly up there in the sky for your sign, I'm sorry to say. So, we had a taste last week of how troublesome things can be. And this week, although I don't like to predict doom, gloom, and trouble. That's not my approach with astrology. I am trying to warn you, though, that there are some challenging times still ahead this week. What I'm concerned with more so than outside influences causing you harm, I'm more concerned with inner influences causing you harm, i.e., your own emotional and mental state. With Mercury in Aquarius, even though it's softly aspecting Venus and Pluto somewhat all week, it is approaching a retrograde. And I'm afraid that all this stress from these Aquarius planets is just a little too much for a lot of Taurus people. You're strong, you're tough as a bull, as we say, but everybody can be overwhelmed. And unfortunately for Taurus, this kind of upheaval, things that you cannot control, really leave you flailing. I'll tell you what's at the heart of it with your sign. Taurus, more than any other fixed sign, you do not like to leave your comfort zone. All of the fixed signs do not. But Taurus in particular, and this is where you get your reputation for being stubborn, you will sit in misery doing nothing about it because you're so stubborn. You're just waiting for things to change. You just do not want to leave for your comfort level at times. And unfortunately, that tends to make you a little bit of a magnet for stress and trouble. It's hard for you to get up and move sometimes when needed. And because of that, these kind of aspects come up and affect you because they push you to make moves and changes because you have no choice now. I always try to advise Taurus and other earth signs and fixed signs, try not to let it get to that point because it's a lot more painful. But, well, we're all kind of a nature to our own sign. And although you're a lovely, kind, and giving sign, Taurus, this week you're getting pretty stressed out by stuff. So you can't even take a vacation. That's what's hard. Most people would just run from trouble, but we can't with pandemic situations lately. So the universe is kind of forcing you to sit still. And while doing so, probably so you could take a good look around at your life, some decisions that you've made or some decisions you're considering, and take a good look at what really needs to be fixed. Now, for many people, because of the harshness of these squares and basically, social media has groomed us all to be big babies for the last 10 years. That's my opinion anyhow. I think that we expect that things should not change. We expect that things should always be the way they want them to be. But you've lived long enough to know that isn't the way life is. So while you're holding out for that doesn't actually make sense. So if you're not being practical by not making the changes that the universe is asking you to do, then you're going to have a lot more pain. But if you can somehow recognize, figure out what it is that you need to fix or change and get to it, it will be a lot less painful of a week for you. So the choice is yours. And perhaps I'm being a bit harsh, but I need to be because Taurus, you need to get up and move. You need to make some changes. And if you don't do that, this Saturn-Uranus square is going to make them for you. So I would rather see you be part of the solution for your own life anyhow. So good luck this week. You've got to face a lot of trials and tribulations still this week. There are unexpected events perhaps, but all of these things are messages from the universe to get you to look at what you need to fix in your life and then get to it. I hope you have a good week.